What happens when you stop trying to be someone? Not in a dramatic way, not in rebellion, but in stillness, in honesty, in the quiet realization that the person you've been performing was never the full truth. What happens when you let the effort drop? The effort to impress, the effort to explain, the effort to live up to an idea you didn't even create. We spend our lives constructing selves. From childhood, we learn who gets approval, who gets noticed, who gets love. We learn to shape ourselves to meet expectations. Be the smart one, the strong one, the funny one, the selfless one. And we carry those masks so well that eventually we forget they're masks at all. But there comes a moment, sometimes gently, sometimes like a rupture, when the performance no longer works. You say the right things but feel nothing. You show up but you're not really there. You laugh but it sounds rehearsed. And somewhere inside, a voice you've ignored for years finally speaks. I'm tired of pretending. So what happens when you stop trying to be someone? You feel lost, at first, because the roles you played gave you direction. They told you how to act, what to feel, who to be in every room. Without them, there's space. And space feels terrifying to someone used to filling it. But that space is sacred. It's in that space that you start to notice things. You notice how much of your life has been spent seeking validation. You notice how often you said yes when your body whispered no. You notice how many dreams you shelved because they didn't fit the story you thought you were supposed to live. And slowly, without effort, the false self begins to fall away. You stop saying things just to sound wise. You stop laughing when you're not amused. You stop agreeing just to keep peace. You stop reaching for a version of yourself that doesn't feel like home. And what takes its place? Truth. A version of you that doesn't need to be marketed, doesn't need to be explained, doesn't need to be liked by everyone to feel real. You become quieter but more present, less performative but more alive. You begin to feel peace not because life is easier, but because you're no longer at war with who you are. You see, the search to be someone is often rooted in fear. Fear that we're not enough. Fear that without an identity we'll disappear. Fear that our worth depends on doing, becoming, achieving. But when you stop trying to be someone, you don't vanish. You arrive. In the present moment. In the breath you're actually taking. In the life you've been too distracted to feel. The people around you might not understand at first. They're used to the version of you that performed, the version that met their expectations, the version that didn't make waves. But your authenticity will unsettle them only if they're still performing too. And that's okay. You're not shedding who you are to please anyone. You're doing it because the truth matters more than the applause ever did. So what happens when you stop trying to be someone? You begin to feel, not just the beauty, but the ache, the sadness you buried beneath smiles, the grief you denied in the name of being fine, the confusion you wrapped in certainty because it felt safer. And as those emotions rise, you realize they're not problems. They're part of what makes you real. You begin to make choices not based on who you've been, but based on who you're becoming. You walk away from conversations that drain you. You create from a place of honesty, not strategy. You begin to enjoy being alone because your presence no longer requires a performance. You stop trying to be someone, and instead, you become yourself. And the self that emerges, she's quieter than the noise, stronger than the roles, softer than the armor. She doesn't shout, she doesn't impress. She simply is. And in her presence, you finally breathe like it matters. So if you've been trying to be someone, pause. Let go. Just a little. Let the mask fall, even if no one's watching. Ask yourself, what if I didn't need to be impressive? What if I didn't need to be productive? What if I stopped trying to be someone and allowed myself to exist? Not perfectly, not loudly, just truly. You'll be surprised what you find beneath the layers. It won't be empty. It'll be free. Because the truth is, you were never meant to be someone. You were meant to be you. And that was never a performance. It was a return. Would you like a scene-by-scene storyboard using Leonardo prompts, or a thumbnail title combination to match this script's quiet but resonant tone?